All right, everybody, welcome back to The Walking Dead, produced by Blazing Blasters. I'm your Game Master, Bo. Tonight we have Chapter 7 of our adventure, and with us, we're missing Rogue, unfortunately, but we have Tet playing Jake Browning. We have Slip playing Danny Wells, Sim playing Connor Stetson, and Walter Peck playing Ben Morton. Without further ado, we're going to get to it. We're going to open up with an introduction by none other than Ben Morton. Let me just go to that scene and take it away, Mr.
So this is the introduction of Ben Morton, and the camera pans down. It's a much different scene than that of the Ozarks. It's a very mountainous, rugged terrain, and as the camera kind of pans in on this village, you see what appear to be soldiers talking to Afghanis, and one of the Afghanis has a black and blue face, and he's arguing very kind of vociferously with what appears to be an officer of some kind of the U.S. military, and it seems to be an elder, has a white beard. He's also very upset, arguing with the officer. And as those are that trio is arguing, the camera kind of pans up to a row of Humvees sitting there, and there's one soldier looking down at the group, and an individual comes up behind him and kind of yells, "Hey, Sarge!" And the individual turns around, and it's Ben. And he's like, "What is it, Deanna?" He's like, "Why aren't you down there with them?" You go, "You know why. I caused too much trouble last time." And as they're sitting and talking, the OIC slowly makes his way up, and he looks at Sergeant Morton. He goes, "That little stunt almost cost all the hard work we've done with these villagers. That village elder wanted you dead." He kind of looks at him nonchalantly. "Well, then his son shouldn't be touching kids. Well, pissant pervert should be beaten to death. We shouldn't be giving them money, buying them off. They should be fucking put in the ground 6 feet under." And the officer goes, "I don't want to hear any more of that shit, Sergeant. They are here to help us rid this valley of the Taliban, and they are going to do that. We just have to grease those palms. Now you wire your shit tight, and I don't want to hear any more outbursts from you." And the other sergeants and platoon sergeant meet up with the OIC, and they put a map out on top of one of the Humvee hoods, and, "All right, gentlemen, listen up. The village elders agreed to help us after a hefty bribe, but he's recommending we go up this trail here," and his finger kind of follows a pattern, or follows a line. And the platoon sergeant looks at him and goes, "Sir, there's a lot of enemy contact up there. Are you sure that's the right thing to do?" And the OIC says, "Yep, they gave us some good intel. They want to work with us. They want to get the Taliban out of here, just like a bunch of the village elders all through this valley." And kind of Morton speaks up. He goes, "I'm not going to lie, I'm with the platoon sergeant. This reeks of a trap. I mean, I've been here. This is my third tour here. I know what these shit stains are like." And the OIC, who you can see on his rank as a first lieutenant, he goes, "I don't want to hear any more of that. We're going to listen to them. We're going to work with them. They're going to help us out." A couple of the sergeants give each other's looks, but they don't disagree because they don't get a choice. So we kind of cut to the vehicles going, the Humvees going through the valley, and they're looking around, and M2 on the back of one of them is swiveling around, and Morton's talking with his saw gunner Deanna, and he looks to him and goes, "Man, I don't like this." And the individual driving, he kind of looks over to Sergeant Morton, who's running shotgun. "Nah, it's okay. I got a good feeling about," and right when he says that, you can see coming in an RPG just slamming into the front of the Humvee, spraying shrapnel all into the gunner and the driver. He leans forward, his foot going into the gas, and it goes off the road into an embankment, and you start hearing gunshots from both in front and up the valley side. It's a kind of classic L-shaped ambush. They all exfil out of the Humvees, and you see gunfire back and forth, and another RPG hits the lead vehicle, disabling it. And there's just a horrendous firefight with multiple U.S. soldiers getting hit. One bullet bounces, ricochets off the truck that Sergeant Morton was using for cover. He's doing his best to pick off those higher up the hill with the RPGs and the RPKs. And he kind of looks to the officer who's crouching down. He goes, "I fucking told you, you fucking idiot!" And kind of camera, it fades to black as the gunfight continues to go on. And we cut to later that evening at a camp that the soldiers were using. It's walled. Sergeant Morton's covered in blood, most of it not his own. And there was a high casualty count that day. There's a row of body bags, and Sergeant Morton's just staring at him. His driver, his gunner, his friend Deanna, who had been with him on the second tour. And after a while, he goes to his room and he starts changing. And it's probably 1 or 2 a.m. by this point. He's changing into black, and you see him pull his bayonet out, kind of quietly tuck that in. He takes out his sidearm, and he gets out his camo and starts painting his face black. And he's by himself, as most of them in his squad had been injured in some way and are still in the medevac area. And as he's leaving, the platoon sergeant kind of comes out of the shadow, and he goes, "You know, if they catch you, they're going to kill you. They'll try you for murder, and you'll spend the rest of your life in Leavenworth or worse." And Morton doesn't say anything, and the platoon sergeant doesn't try and stop him, and he vaults over the wall and disappears into the night. And the camera cuts again, and this time they're to the village that they had started the day on. And you see Morton kind of creeping up with night vision goggles looking out, and they see two of the two Afghanis on guard. One kind of walks out quietly to take a piss, and you can kind of see Morton sneaking up behind him and puts his left hand over his mouth and then jabs his bayonet into the side of his neck and then pushes it forward, bringing it around through the esophagus and then dragging him into the darkness. And he slowly makes his way through the village after dispatching the guards to the village elder's house. He goes in there. He was a widower, and he makes quick work of him before sneaking into the son's house, the one who had started all this by doing things you shouldn't just do with kids. And he sneaks in there. They're sleeping, and he's sleeping with his wife, and he goes up, and the gentleman opens his eyes right as he drives the knife through his eye socket, killing him instantly. Just kind of jiggles a little, you know, unintentional nerve responses into the hands, and then he's dead. The wife wakes up, starts to scream, jumps up on Ben, and they kind of tangle for him a little bit. She scratches his face, and he kind of grabs her by the throat and pushes her up against the wall and takes the bayonet and stabs her once, twice, 3 times in the side. And, you know, she kind of slowly goes lifeless. And as she's falling down, he feels a hand behind him grab his shirt, and he just turns and brings the knife down, expecting to, you know, put it right in the clavicle of a person, except the blade keeps going because the individual is much shorter than he anticipated. And he realizes without even thinking he had just stabbed what appeared to be the son of the tribal chief's son, the grandson. And the kid kind of looks up, fear and horror in his eyes. His blood kind of bubbles out of his lips, and he just kind of whimpers, and Ben kind of cradles him, and, you know, all of a sudden he starts getting tears welling up in his eyes as he realized he had killed a child when his whole point of being there was trying to protect them. And he cradles him for a minute, but he hears a scream out in the distance. One of the guards he had dispatched had been clearly found, and he just kind of quietly apologizes in Arabic before vaulting out of the house. And he sheathes his bayonet into the scabbard, and as he's kind of running away, you see the scabbard kind of bouncing up and down against his thigh. And then the scene quickly changes, and again it's the scabbard bouncing up against his thigh, but this time he's running from the bar to the hotel, holding the hands of the 2 girls that he had saved a few days before, with the A-bag kind of on his back and the AR in his right hand as he's trying to get everyone to safety. And He can hear the pregnant woman screaming, but he doesn't dare turn around, for what he knows is surely her gruesome death. And that's that.
And eventually you did make it to that hotel. You and your group came to make at least a temporary home in a place called Celebration Cove. Celebration Cove was just north of Branson Shores Resort, but featured a more secure 4-story hotel that was filled with condos in the days of the living, but now is filled with the dead in the zombie apocalypse. And if you're interested in watching what happened after they found the hotel and our group clearing the hotel, go ahead and watch last session. Walter Peck unfortunately wasn't able to make last session. He's going to describe to us how he took part in those events, and then you're going to make a scout roll, and we will let the results of that scout roll determine how many scavenge rolls you make.
Alrighty, a scout roll, you said?
Yes, sir.
All right, before I forget, I'm going to roll 2d6 and take the lowest.
Yes, Major.
Don't forget that.
Oh!
So the group kind of pairs off. I believe I heard the beginning of the last episode where you guys went upstairs, but Ben went off into the ground floor, clearing the ground floor, looking for access points to try and secure them or ensure they were at least locked. As he's going through, some of the doors are open to the hotel rooms on the ground floor, others not. He kind of walks by the pool, peeking in, not seeing anything. Not that he expected the undead to be kind of lounging in the hot tub or the pool, but it was best to check. And as he is searching the area, he scouts things out. And doesn't find shit.
You find a few things. You can roll twice on that table called Hotel Scavenging. It's under Bo's custom table. Just right click on it, and hopefully I'll let you roll.
Where's the table at?
It's under rollable tables.
Oh, I found it. Bo's custom table. Hotel Scavenging.
Yep. If it won't let you right click, you might just have to open it and roll.
It did not let me right click, so let's try this. Got like a million dice here. Here we go.
Zip ties.
Oh yeah. One more time.
Yep. Oh, that's pretty useful.
Zip ties and flares.
I'm adding that to the... So you can also see we have a Haven token now. So the zip ties. Celebration Cove has capacity 3 and defense 3. And I'll let you guys take it away as the morning of the 13th dawns.
So are we sleeping then, or are we still clearing out the area?
We were
last session
sleeping.
ended. It's probably like nighttime or almost dawn when that last session ended with that gunshot.
All right, with the end of it, Ben will look for a hotel room for both him, Kat, and Liz. Maybe in an adjacent room with the doors that connect the rooms before taking the curtains, making sure they're closed, and falling into a much needed deep sleep.
And you can roll a 2d6. And remove. It's a double low, and you remove that much stress from a night's sleep.
All these ones.
So 1.
Did you remove it? I got it.
And then if you want to have some role play with an anchor or whatever as well, since everybody else got that opportunity, just for social interaction, why don't you just remove the last point as well?
Gotcha.
Because you guys remember at the beginning of last session, you guys had all that social role play, and it wasn't with your anchor, but you got to take away some stress. So
yeah,
I think old Ben should get that same chance. So yeah. So what has happened is you guys have just heard the unfortunate shot from Olivia in her husband's room, and she's come out and she's kind of distressed, and it's like just before dawn on the 13th. And is that where we ended?
I thought that we went to sleep, kind of. I mean, we were just chilling and talking.
Yep, we shared some drinks and went to sleep after she came out.
That's fine then.
Or in the morning, I don't remember now.
I don't think it makes much difference. Take it away.
Are we gonna start in the morning or at night?
Yeah, unless you had something to
No.
talk about or do. Yeah, otherwise we can start in the morning. Yep.
I mean, he can de-stress in the morning, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Is that when you de-stress?
Yeah.
Jake wakes up pretty early. He is not drinking nearly enough for his body currently, and he wakes up with a pretty good sweat, and he gets up and walks out into the hallway and looks around and tries to find the bathroom. And I assume we have cleared it, otherwise he wouldn't go by himself. But he heads in there and drains the main vein, if you will, and splashes some water on his face if it's working. If not, he just cusses. He turns the faucet on, and I'm assuming there's no water, right? So
there's no water, and the toilets are kind of filled with a couple peas, but it's not that bad yet.
Yeah, no, he's not splashing peas on his face, but he cusses and looks at the mirror and sees just how skinny he's gotten from his knot cancer, and he just like under his breath curses, and he almost wishes that he was in better condition for all this. It's been a little liberating for him, as he told Connor yesterday, but he feels nauseous and sick, and he eventually sits down on the floor and just kind of rests his head on the cold kind of ceramic floor underneath the sinks, just laying there for a bit. As everybody else does what they're going to do outside.
I think when Danny gets up, she starts quietly walking around. Probably most people are still asleep, but she's trying to assess, because we all pretty much just had to run out with what we had. Maybe people had like a backpack or something that they grabbed, but she's pretty sure that they are basically out of food, and they're going to have to go search for food today. But so what she's doing is kind of assessing all their supplies, their current situation. Checks on the sick girl, the girl who got shot.
Yeah, as you go over to Mandy, that was her name, the shot girl. She's looking on the up and up. Her color's much better. Being in a shelter and getting a good night's sleep without any Any worries? Did there lots of good? And her father Ronnie kind of approaches you. Hey, Danny, can I have a word with you?
Yeah, sure. And she kind of smiles at Maddie and tells her that she's looking on the mend, and then goes off into the corner of a room to talk to the dad.
Says, listen, I know I've thanked you, but I want you to know the extent of my gratitude. He kind of looks over to the stepmom or the girlfriend, Laura, who's playing with the boy, Bobby, and they're looking over the sister. He says, my family's intact. There's not many here that can say that. He kind of looks over towards Olivia, and she's off kind of in the corner by herself, with kind of her head down between her knees. And I owe it all to you. Listen, there are going to be times in this whole mess where somebody's got to step up, and if you ever need help, I'm willing to put my life on line for what you did to me. So if you got a favor, you just call it in, you hear?
He looks at him, about to kind of brush it off, but then she nods, puts a hand on his shoulder. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of hard times ahead. And it's good to know that you'll back me up.
All right. I'm going to get back to my girl now.
You do that. And she kind of hands him some ibuprofen, like keep her off the narcotics if she's on the mend. And
all right. Thanks, Danny. He goes and grabs like a bottle of water to give to his girl to wash down the meds, and as he looks, he kind of looks to the supplies dwindling and over in your direction to the PCs, and then it's very clear that you have some supplies, but it's not going to hold out much longer.
Right. So was Ben gone scavenging last night?
Narratively, he would be with you doing something else. It depends.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, she'll go look for him.
She'll find him. I'm sure he let everybody know what room he had settled in on, and he'll be in that room asleep still, basically.
She'll go over to where he's sleeping, kind of hunker down on her heels, and she's gonna reach out and pinch his nose shut till he wakes up.
Yeah, that instantly wakes him up. He's sleeping there, kind of he's maybe have one cover on, and he's probably in some athletic shorts or something, and he's got a shotgun on the side of the bed there, and he his eyes dart open. He goes to grab her arm, and he's like, "Holy shit! What? You have a sick sense of humor. I like it. Thank you."
She smiles and she says, so, yeah, we all had to kind of leave in a hurry, so I think that one of the first items of business today is going to have to be scavenging. I'm sure there's some food in the hotel, but we're going to have to find it.
You hungry right now?
She shrugs. Last night was kind of stressful. I could eat, but, it's not urgent.
He kind of gets up and walks over to the A bag and opens it up, and he pulls out a box of Honey Nut Cheerios. And if you can probably see in the top of there's some rations, not all the rations he had collected, but there are some, dry goods that he maybe got from his double wide. And you see a bottle of tequila in there, and some assortment of items, and kind of opens up the top. He goes, "Now, did you wash your hands before you eat?"
Well, there's no water, but I got some hand sanitizer.
Oh, you don't want to use one of those single-use soaps that the hotels provide. Side note, are you still wearing the same clothes you started the game with?
She just reaches over and grabs the box and dunks her hand in, shoves food into her mouth.
Are you still wearing the same clothes that you started the game with?
Danny? Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Everybody probably is, right?
Well, I'm the only one that was smart enough to go to my trailer and get some clothes in there. Yeah, he kind of looks. He's like, "You're looking a little less than you're a little ripe there. I have a couple of shirts and stuff you could probably borrow if you want. They'll be way too big on you, but I mean, I guess it might be better than wearing the same thing day in day out."
Fresh to you wouldn't be bad. I'm sure we can find some clothes in the hotel. I mean, stuff people left behind.
I'm sure we'll find some very tasteful old lady clothes that you'll be able to use.
I can rock some bonnets.
He kind of fumbles through his A bag and pulls out like a really oversized gray, like the old style gray army shirts. And it just says Army on the front. He kind of tosses it to her. He goes, "It's yours if you want it. I'm not really going to wear it."
Okay. And she looks down at her tank top. She's got a sports bra on underneath anyway, and she just kind of takes it off and throws it in the corner. Not sure she's ever going to wear that again. Not until they've got enough water to wash clothes, and pulls the t-shirt on.
Yeah. Ben would like to pretend he was nice enough to look away, but yeah, no, he's not. He's like, huh. If someone would have said a year ago my boss would be changing in front of me, I don't know if I would have believed him.
Well, hey, silver lining, huh?
Yeah. There are a few silver linings for the end of the world, I suppose. So, what do you find on the other floors?
Besides the crazy man, she just starts kind of picking off some of the supplies they found, which you can see on the, let's see. Where do we have that?
It's
Is
on
it
there. Bottom right. Here.
Oh, yeah, just click on that. Yeah,
Left
she's
click
like,
or right click?
double click is what I did.
Ah, there we are.
And she's like, yeah, just a crowbar will come in handy. A bunch of maps.
Who put the eunuch on there?
Some walkie-talkies.
Oh, that's nice. I found some zip ties if you're into that kind of thing, and some flares, but that was about it.
Yeah, we run into any more crazy people, those zip ties might come in handy.
Yeah, good point. Well, I'll tell you what, if we make it to the end of the day here, clearing out this room and whatever those psychopaths outside have in store, that bottle right there, and he kind of points to the tequila, I'll share a shot or two with you. But that's a special bottle I got a long time ago. I don't waste it on nothing.
Yeah, I see. Well, that's mighty generous of you.
We'll warn you. I promise I won't get too handsy. That's the one Achilles heel of me and tequila.
And she kind of looks out the window for a second, says, it's not really your hands I'm worried about. If I can handle them, I can handle you.
Yeah, you'd like to think so. We all made it this far. I don't plan on stopping today.
Well, let's go rouse the troops. Definitely going to need Connor on this, and Jake was more handy with a gun than I expected him to be.
That's good to hear. It's nice to see he's pulling his weight for a change. But speaking of change, and he kind of pulls out a pair of BDU bottoms. I'm going to go in the bathroom real quick and change because ever since the world ended, I've been deciding free balling's the way to go, and you don't need to see that. Or should I say, don't want to see that.
She just kind of raises an eyebrow. If you say so.
He goes in there and changes and comes back out and kind of looks over his weapons. And I got extra weapons here. If you need anything, you let me know.
Yeah. I gave a pistol to Olivia. I think she's handy, and she's got some sense in her. Hopefully doesn't turn it on herself today, but I don't think she's the type.
That's good to hear. And he pulls out one of his pistols and racks around into the chamber and turns it around in his hand. He goes, "If you want it, it's yours."
I got one. She reaches into her backpack and stuffs the pistol down the back of her pants like she's been carrying it.
Works for me.
Come on, let's see if anybody else wants to go find breakfast or, I don't know, maybe tackle the 4th floor before we do.
Yeah, he shoves a couple more bites of Cheerios into his mouth, puts it back in the A-bag, closes it back up. Let's just keep that little stash between you and me a secret.
Yeah, she just, covers it up with some blankets and, her dirty tank top.
Yeah, he grabs the shotgun, and he brings the AR, straps it to his back. Not that he thinks he's needed, but if anybody needs one, he'll provide an extra weapon. He goes, "Let's." And then the last thing you see is he kind of puts a little bandolier, a Molly belt on, and on it's got a little knife on there, a bayonet, and on the other side's got he puts the zip ties in a pouch, and he's got some binoculars. And all right, let's go see what kind of mess we can make today.
She stands up and they go off looking for the others. I'm sure we see Jake. He's already awake. Is Connor awake?
Connor probably wouldn't be, because he was sharing a drink when Olivia came out of the room after she saw her boyfriend / husband or whatever he was. So he probably would have fell asleep after that.
Yeah, we'll go find where you're sleeping, and Danny doesn't try the holding your nose closed trick because she's she's seen what you can do and is a little wary about that. But she'll kneel down and kind of just touch your shoulder.
Yeah, Connor's eyes would wake up. Is it morning already?
Yep. Rise and shine. Time to clear the 4th floor or go looking for supplies down on the 1st.
Decisions. He'll stretch up a little bit and pat his pockets down, make sure he has everything he needs. As he cracks his neck from leaning against the wall sleeping. So is everybody okay through the night?
Yes, as far as I can tell, everybody made it. The girl, Madison, she's looking real good today, actually.
That's fantastic. Won't be long now before she'll be able to kind of mosey around with everybody else, I assume.
Yeah, that'll be a load off my mind, to be honest. Having people helpless like that, this is not a good time to be helpless.
No, and luckily she recovered pretty good, because I was a little worried that she might turn into one of those things.
Yeah, not so far. I mean, when I've been doing the rounds, I've been, doing a discreet check on people, and nobody else is showing symptoms that I've seen.
Oh, that's outstanding. And you kind of look around. Where the hell did Jake go?
Yeah, about that time, Jake comes out of the bathroom, and he looks pretty rough. He wipes his lips because he's been in there vomiting. and you can just tell he looks a little fidgety. You're not sure if he's shaking or what, and he just comes out and I see everybody's awake. It's good.
You look
You
like
doing
shit.
okay?
You okay?
Yeah, just I'm fine.
Danny says, "Forgive my um, presumption," but she goes over and just kind of feels his forehead with her forearm. You don't feel feverish, but you don't look great.
Yeah, I think it might be the fact that I've been drinking for about a month, 14 to 16 hours a day, and not so much right now.
So you're going through withdrawals. You gonna be all right?
I don't know. Never did this before.
So maybe cold turkey's not the best idea. Find you a little bit, have a nip of it here and there, start cutting down gradually.
Yeah, well, let's go find the bar then, I guess.
So she looks at the others downstairs then?
Yeah, it's like in the foyer when you come in, like there, you walk in, there's a bar, maybe like a little area for, a musician or something like that. Typical hotel setup if you want to go back down the foyer. The area is cleared.
I mean, it's cleared that we know of. So
Yeah.
things can always wander in, so have to stay alert.
If you guys don't mind, I think we should get to the ground floor, make sure all our doors are locked and secured, and maybe get a group meeting, see how everyone's doing, try and find some food, and finish clearing this place out. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think it's a great idea, but I don't like the fact that there's something on the fourth floor there at our back.
Maybe we should just take care of the fourth floor and then do all that. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully it's pretty clear anyway. We haven't heard any thumping around up there, have we?
No.
We didn't have a problem last night, did we?
No, and I didn't hear anything, so
I mean, there might be survivors up there that were just as scared as everyone else. I don't blame them. They don't have the strength of numbers like we do.
Well, whoever it was is pretty brave to play the music loud when we got up there, so...
Well, it's the end of the world. Can you blame them?
Not when you're trying to hide from things that try and eat you.
That's fair. But also, I think we figured out these guys aren't these things aren't the most agile or smart. Maybe stairs are something that they struggle with.
I have a feeling they could manage stairs. But yeah, they don't seem to be able to do anything super complicated.
No, that's for sure.
Yeah, I don't think they can open doors, right? From what I can tell.
I haven't seen one of them open a door.
I haven't
I
really
don't
seen
think
them
so.
try.
I think they just kind of beat against it when we were over at the bar. When they were all trying to get in, they just kind of were smacking at things, and they just lucked out when they broke that window.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, let's just hope they don't get any smarter. All right, upstairs it is. No sense putting it off.
All
Shall
four of
we?
you heading up.
Mm-hmm.
Taking any NPCs along or negative?
Maybe we should ask.
I'll ask Olivia. Might do her good to keep her
Yeah,
mind busy.
I
You
agree.
want to approach her there,
Yeah.
Mr.
I'll,
Jake?
oh, yeah, why don't you... She may not be, like, too crazy about me right now. Sometimes the people aren't happy with the messenger.
Yeah, I'll talk to her.
Connor's gonna hand Jake the flash before he goes. Might want to rinse your mouth out with the rest of this.
That's a good point. Nobody wants to talk to somebody who smells like puke. And he does, and he takes a drink and like scrunches his face up as he actually kind of gargles it for a second. It starts coughing for a few minutes, and then takes another drink and nods and hands it back to Connor, and he will go try to find her.
Yeah, it looks like she hasn't really slept a wink. She's still hanging out in one of the kind of corners in one of the rooms, kind of away from everybody. She's um, kind of has her head down between her knees, pistols kind of sitting next to her right hip.
Yeah, Jake says, excuse me, sorry. We're going up to the fourth floor to check it out. Just thought you might, I don't know, keep your mind busy or something. If you wanted to come with us.
She slowly raises her head. Her eyes are bloodshot, and locks of brown hair are kind of curled over a sweaty forehead. Who the fuck are you again?
My name's Jake.
She looks at Jake. Where'd you spend the night? You look like something the cat drug in.
It's I was in one of the rooms.
She looks you over. She kind of moves the pistol closer to her hip. Going through DTs, aren't you? Maybe not far from it.
DTs? What do you mean?
You like the drink a little too much, Jake, if that's whatever the fuck your name was. Don't think I've led a sheltered life. Yeah, my husband is well off when I married him, and so now I'm well off, but I know you're kind. So stay the fuck
Nobody's
away.
really well off right now, I have to say. Money don't mean anything.
You say that again.
So, anyway, you can come with us if you want, or not. Anyway.
Can you roll a manipulate?
Sure.
Or leadership would be fine too.
Well, I'm terrible at both, so.
Yeah.
Push it.
No, I don't think so.
No.
She looked at you and stands up, almost forgetting the gun, and she bends over and grabs it, sticks it in her rear waistband. Fuck it. We're all going to die anyway. Might as well go down fighting, right? Yeah, I'll help. But it's not for your drunk ass.
You got a ways to go with this one.
Yeah.
Jake.
It's worse than the friend
Just
zone.
scratching the surface. Yeah,
The
just
hate
scratching the
zone.
surface.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a season 2 romance at least.
He just says,
It always starts out this way. It always
Yep.
starts out that way in these shows.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I didn't say you were doing it for me. I was just asking if you wanted to come. All right.
She's already passed you.
She's like, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, Connor would be putting on his body armor there and adjusting it after removing it for the night, and looking at his nice gory vest, and has a mark in it from when he got shot on the roof. Everybody ready to go up there?
Ben is kind of like leaning against a wall with the kind of shotgun in hands, and he sees Olivia just kind of shit all over Jake, and as she passes him, he goes, "Hey, be nice to him. He's got cancer."
What? She kind of looks at you. It's like, what? Are you retarded too? He's going through withdrawals, asshole.
I don't know. You sure about that? I mean, I know he's a drunk. I've seen him at the bar a million times. But why would he be drinking like that if he ain't drinking away his sorrows, dying from cancer? Why else would he be drinking?
He doesn't even answer you. She just looks at you.
Trying to get you pity sex.
No. She gives you the Norm Macdonald speech. Have you heard about life? How you're born and then things get worse and worse until everybody around you dies and you finally die as well?
Yeah, as she kind of walks away, kind of just like mumbles, "Oh, someone woke up on the wrong side of a bitch this morning. Jesus."
Jeez. Like, who died, right?
Oh, too soon.
She kind of overhears you.
No, I do not say that out loud.
No, she overheard Ben. She just stops and like looks at the looks at her. This is a revolver, right? Yeah. So she looks in chambers. She only had one bullet left, right?
I had given her two, so yeah, she only.
Yeah. She should have one bullet. She just says, "I'm going to need more bullets."
Yeah, it's like the same caliber as mine, so I'll get some shells out.
She has a revolver.
Mm-hmm.
If you want, I got an actual pistol with a couple magazines, if that might help you a little bit more.
I've kind of become attached to this one. It's just the pistol that she killed her husband with, so.
It's a named pistol now.
Yep. It's got a lore to it.
Coward's Bane. And she'll head upstairs with you. Tetwas look like as the five of you kind of creep up the steps.
I would assume either Connor or Ben are in front, and they kind of head up this stairway. And is it one of the ones that kind of like goes in like a square?
Yeah.
Is it one that like goes outside the building and then kind of like...
No, like like at the end of these hallways, there's like if you go to like a Motel 6, it's the one that goes straight up on either side of the hallway.
Yeah, so they start making their way up, kind of rounding, going in a circle as they kind of come up, and then they get to the hallway, and they kind of form a line and stop, kind of listening to what they hear, and they hear what?
Yeah, so as you kind of come to the top of the steps, you can imagine this scene, but imagine it was like, obviously no lights, and the hallway is completely barricaded with like beds and stuff like that. And coming closer, initially you guys don't hear any like thumping or thudding or growling or any of the typical sounds of the dead. But you can each of you make me a scout check at a -2 to see if you hear anything else.
-2.
I would do a -2. -2 button bonus dice. I don't know.
Add bonus dice, probably -2. I'll roll.
Yeah,
it
just
if it works.
type in a -2. It does work. It does work. Oh, I gotta change their default token.
Hey, I still got a success.
Nice. So Ben and Danny, you can hear, like right as soon as you come to the top of the steps, you can hear voices. They seem to say, "Stop, man! Stop! I think I hear them. They're coming up. Shh!" That's all you hear. What do you do?
Yeah, Ben kind of tilts his head to hear as best he can, and no one else seems to hear it, but he sees Danny kind of straining her ear as well. He looks and goes, "You heard that right?"
Yeah, she points in the direction that she thinks it came from.
Yeah, Ben will turn back to Connor and kind of hold up 2 fingers with his left hand and kind of do an eyes and points to the direction where the voices were.
Connor will nod. Get his shotgun up to shoulder level there.
Yeah, he'll let Connor lead, and he'll follow behind with his shotgun as well.
So
How you
what
gonna
kind
get
of
past the barricade? No, it's just like it's filled just beds and shit from the ceiling to the floor. Can't get past it.
Oh. Connor's gonna kind of give it an eyeball up or down. Shake his head.
They might be hoarding supplies over there if they've already raided the downstairs.
Yeah, Ben leans over. So, do we try and knock this down, or do we talk first?
I think it'd be better talking. We start pulling them down, we're gonna be at a disadvantage if they start shooting at us.
All right.
And
All right. Danny will call out, "Hey, we hear a couple of you up here. You want to come out and talk? Can't stay up there forever." Besides, we've got people downstairs who are going to want some of these beds.
How many of them are you?
How many are up here right now?
How many are you in your company?
Oh, how many do we have left?
Say 50.
He just says, couple dozen? Why?
Here, says a couple dozen of them.
Look, plus, we know what's out there, and that there's
Leave us
trouble.
alone, we'll leave you alone.
That's not going to work. There's trouble on the horizon, and if you're rational, good people, you're going to want to band up because there's a bunch of, I don't know what they are, but they're horrible, and they're headed this way eventually.
Listen, lady, you sound real nice, but
I'm a doctor, by the way. Anybody hurt?
shit. So you say? What
Uh,
are you doing down there? You shooting people? We heard guns.
Hurting what?
Pop last night, man.
Oh, yeah, there was
Sound
somebody
like downtown ATL.
yeah, that was... You know how these things happen, right? Like, how you become one of them?
I do. We do. Hence
Yeah.
the barricade.
Well,
Not too quick, are you?
I'm a doctor, and we caught it early. And that's what the pop was.
Doctors probably got us into this mess.
Well-
Shooting brains and DNA and fucking monkeys down there at the CDC.
Okay, I don't fuck monkeys anywhere, at the CDC or here. How many of you are up here? And you have enough supplies?
We've got a veritable army, ma'am, and we are just fine, I
Uh-huh.
think.
Well, if I go downstairs and I find that you've completely raided all the food, we're going to have to ask for some redistribution. But, if you took just enough, just your own share, that's fine. We'll leave you alone.
Hey, now, as far as we knew, we were the only two in this hotel.
It
Well?
isn't just the undead you got to worry about, it's the living. There's some people out there that mean to do serious harm to anything they come across. I ain't saying that you have to join our group, but the enemy of the enemy is my friend. I saw what they did to some other tourists and locals. It ain't pretty.
Then we're gonna be neighbors. We should get to know each other, even if you stay up here. We gotta figure out if you're good people or not to have you at our back, unwatched.
Plus, we're going to get them generators going. And, you're going to be benefiting from that, too.
Generators? We don't need any generators. We got a solar... Shut the fuck up, Maurice!
She raises an eyebrow and looks at the others.
And we have a individual who just happens to specialize in mechanical work. He could probably get that solar panel up and running.
Another voice. God damn it, Maurice.
Come on, just come out. I mean, if we were really wanting to, we could just tear all this down and shoot up the place, and that's just not what we're about. So just come on out. Just talk like normal people.
All right, great role play. So I was going to give you guys a leadership with a +2, but then they know you have guns, so it'd be a -2. But then you guys all kind of assisted each other, so I'd give you another +2. So I'd just do somebody do a leadership with a +2.
And we have a doctor.
Go for it, Danny.
Doctor. He doesn't trust doctors.
No, we fuck monkeys.
Ah, there you go. That's pretty good. You see one of the mattresses just slowly get pushed, and then it just topples over, and there's a couple guys kind of standing there. This is Carter and Maurice. And
Carter.
I'm going to play a little cutscene introducing them. All right. Go to the journal here and go all the way down to chapter 6 in the up top. Just a few days ago, Carter Encino and Maurice Wilkins, two high school friends from Atlanta, had an idea things were going south, so they stopped in some podunk hotel on the lake, according to Carter. And they've been there ever since. Why? Well, the quiet. The quiet was nice after a life spent chasing the spotlight. Even the growls of the dead are sometimes preferable to reminders of a past life and failed dreams. Carter and Maurice were done with the club scene. They'd spent their 20s as promoters of the nightlife in ATL, but now in their 30s, both childless and without prospects, they gambled it all on one weekend recording session, heavily discounted at Atlantis Recording Studios. Shortly after finishing, shit hit the fan in the cities, and it's been a long, sad roll downhill ever since. For all their talk of teenage years spent slinging dope and getting into gunfights, Carter and Maurice didn't have a firearm between them. From their perch on the top floor, though, they could see the swarm of walkers to the north, and after hearing screams and gunshots below, hadn't ventured forth much, except to barricade their floor and access to the roof. That was fine, though. They had some snacks and foodstuffs with them, and they were able to scavenge some drinks and a CB radio and portable solar-powered battery from some hikers who abandoned their suite a few doors down. At least they could power their scant equipment and listen to some tunes. Maurice still checks every hour to see if the cell service is back up. He's been sorely disappointed. However, they have reestablished contact with an older woman named Mary Cleveland back at the recording studio. She's been asking about her two sons, Claude and Grover, but otherwise seems like she doesn't want to say too much on account of the ruckus down the road. For now, Carter and Maurice bide their time, but time don't stand still for nobody, and time's running out. That's them. They're kind of standing back. Both of them seem to have their hand on a knife in their belt or some sort of bladed weapon, but they're not visibly armed.
Yeah.
And Maurice says, "There you go. We're going to trust you first. We're going to expect a lot of you to show some restraint here."
Danny walks up and holds out her hand. I'm Danny. I own the camping resort down the way.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Branson Shores Resort?
Yep. Not much of a getaway anymore. She kind of smiles grimly, but, sees if they're going to shake her hand.
Maurice comes forward and shakes her hand. Maurice Wilkins.
Hi.
This is my brother, Carter.
Nice to meet you guys. This is Jake, Connor, and Ben. They've been, I don't know what I've done without them if they hadn't been around during this time. Anybody else up here besides you guys? No
Just the
walkers,
two of
I'm
us.
assuming.
No.
Well, tell you what. Trust building exercise. If you want, you can come down and help us scavenge.
They both look to each other.
Better than doing it on your own.
We can watch each
Is
other's
that-
backs.
Rest of the hotel's clear?
As far as we can tell, we cleared out 2, 3. If you say this floor's clear, then yeah, it's clear. But, we haven't been in the kitchen or anything, so we might run into something. But I think it's pretty safe.
Yeah. All right.
Then you
So
can come and
they,
meet the others soon if you feel like it.
Yeah, they'll go back to their room and get some stuff. And you go in their room, you can see it's just kind of torn up, and they have all their supplies there that they were talking about. But they'll each grab a big long knife, and you see like out the window there's like this kind of solar thing propped in the window, and what looks to be like a laptop and some recording equipment that they brought with them. There's a bunch of like old albums and stuff like that too laying around.
Do we see the radio, or is that not in view?
Yeah, it's there. Yep, it's like a little CB radio.
Danny just kind of nudges whoever is standing by her, and she's like, "Is that a radio, guys? Have you been in contact with anyone?"
This Carter's talking now. Yep.
You heard anything? I haven't heard any news since all this cut loose.
We've heard quite a bit, ma'am, and none of it's too good. A couple people here and there, scattered on the other side of Branson, north of Table Rock, south of Table Rock. Only one we can get clear reception on, though, is Mama Cleveland down there at Atlantis Recording Studios. Of course, we know her personally. You're looking at Maurice and Carter, Encino, future stars.
Have you guys heard anything from the government? Is there any response to this? Is there any help?
They kind of look at you, and Carter says, a few days ago there was an emergency alert signal that came through. Something about a military base between here and Springfield. Haven't heard anything since.
Fuck.
We're
Forgot about
not
that.
on these talks.
There
Not a
is
map.
some sort of military base around here. I forgot about it. I mean, I do remember sometimes we'd see off-duty soldiers coming around when I was a kid. We should check out those maps downstairs when we're done scouting and scavenging. I bet it's on there.
Question is, how do we get there? Probably the roads are impassable from a car.
Depends on where it is. I mean, one thing we've got plenty of in Missouri is rivers. They're all around here.
I mean, I'm sure Danny and BP know the side roads.
BP.
I mean, he's worked here forever. You got to know the side roads.
Yeah, as much as he doesn't like to leave his office, he probably does. He's born and raised around here.
Told me he worked for Danny's father forever. You know he's going to know the surrounding area. It's not like this is some big metropolis. As long as we steer clear of the main roads that might get choked up with cars, we might have a shot.
Might be. All right, well, first things first. Danny looks at Maurice and Carter. If you don't mind, I typically follow Connor and Ben here's lead when it comes to possible encounters. They seem to have some experience.
Well, yeah, I'm guessing if Ben has his rifle and stuff, they're clearly armed and so forth. So Maurice says, "Hey man, I ain't no dummy. I always defer to the man with the gun."
Well, we'll finish making sure this hotel's clear and see what introduce you to everybody and kind of figure out our next move after that.
All right. Hey, Maurice, grab a backpack, get a blade. Let's go help our new friends. And he kind of looks at Danny. Now, I'm trusting you. What was your name again?
Danny Wells.
Right. And the rest of y'all?
I'm Ben.
Yeah, I'm Connor.
I'm Jake, and this is Olivia.
Yeah, man. Well met. Let's just hope we don't have to part ways none too soon. I don't want to find my end in the belly of one of those things.
Doesn't even seem like the worst fate. We'll be careful. I think we're going to be okay.
Yep, they'll hang out and they'll help you scavenge and do all that sort of thing. And if you want to go down and check out the kitchen and that sort of thing, we can make that happen.
Supply closets and kitchen.
Jacob, make sure to drop that solar panel off and the CB radio off on the 3rd floor there on the way down.
What's yours is mine.
What's yours is mine, and what's mine is mine. It all works out.
Exactly.
So you go down to the kitchen.
Wow, looks great.
Looks tasty.
As quick as I could come up with during the session. Oh, somebody just dropped.
Who?
It's him.
Oh no, not
He's
again.
back. He's back.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. It's my Discord stopped making sounds, so I thought I might have froze, but I'm still here.
All right, do y'all want to roll on the scavenge table one more time, and then we'll get to the food?
Yeah, is there?
Sure.
Well, someone go ahead and roll. I was gonna say Ben's gonna be talking. He's like, look, I was able to get quite a bit of food, but it's all back at the bar.
It's probably all gone now then. Those.
I don't think they eat food. I mean, if they...
No, the people on the river.
Well, do we even know if they went to the bar?
I don't know. I just can't imagine that they'd pass it up. I found a compass.
Well, you can lead us to food. Thanks.
It always points to food.
I mean, I'm just saying that it might not be a bad idea to swing by there again.
Oh no, it
later.
Wouldn't hurt.
Well, we have to wait till that herd thins out a bit because running through them was
Yeah, not for now, no.
You all can roll too. See if y'all find anything.
Are we all wrong?
I thought he said we could all roll one more time on the scavenging table.
Yeah, if you want, then
Rollable tables. Is that under your custom table? Oh, hotel scavenging.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
I think there's a module where you can make like a token that's a rollable table, kind of like on Roll20.
Mm-hmm.
I need to look into that. But that's really helpful.
Perfect.
You guys can
50
add the
Shades
stuff
of
to
Grey.
that. You can add the stuff. You can add the stuff to the.
Olivia, read this.
Token
Come
there.
back.
Duct tape,
Get all hot and bothered.
duct tape and multi-tool are actually good.
Yeah,
I don't know where you guys are looking.
Yeah, while he's looking at where the hotel openings, they have like the book stand or the brochures.
Yeah. So Jake is like looking at the books. He goes like, "Oh, guys, it's Game of Thrones."
Oh, did they finally release a new one?
No, this is the original.
As he's saying that, he's kind of maybe peeking behind the concierge table or something, finds a multi-tool and just kind of like puts it in his pocket.
As you go past the foyer and open up a couple of these like big double doors here, you see what's obviously probably the hotel kitchen, and there's just a horrible reek coming through it. And as you kind of like eke the door open, you can see in there's like busted up cans of like Boyardee SpaghettiOs, and there are a couple walkers, and what do they look like? Let's see what they look like here. Walker passed. There's, what is it? A UFO. There's a guy that's wearing like a Roswell t-shirt.
Says probe me.
And, like the skin's eaten from its face. And as you open the door, he kind of hears, and he keeps trying to stand up, but he keeps falling into the SpaghettiO. Just so it's going to be threat level 2. They know you're there, but they're not necessarily coming towards you. And size is 1, so you only need 3 successes. From now on, guns, though, I am going to give repercussions for guns, since it's so loud.
Oh, yeah. Well,
No problem.
I don't want to get close. We'll just have to take those repercussions.
Mm-hmm.
Connor starts walking in. Come on, they're slow, dumb. And he pulls out a knife that, what's his name? What was Rogue's character's name? Bill? Or is it William? I don't remember.
Bill.
Bill Baker.
Bill Baker, that's it. And he pulls out a knife that Bill Baker gave him. You just get close enough, and you stick him in the head.
I would rather not. Looking at her close combat score of 0.
It's been a long time since I was in Taekwondo, man.
Connor goes up to it. Is there a close one to him, Bo? He's all for this.
Get the little girl.
Yeah.
This game doesn't really have this game doesn't even have a combat system for this sort of thing. So yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so
Connor's,
if you're going to go up to him, let's see. Yep.
Yeah, Connor's definitely he's not gonna make a noise. He's gonna try to sneak up on one and knife it right there at the base, going upwards into the skull with his new knife that he's got.
So you need 3 successes total, I believe. So 3 of you guys get the roll, and then somebody could do.
Well,
leadership.
you can do leadership, can't you? First.
I'll do leadership. You can do it, guys.
Pat us on the back.
Cheerleader in the
Hey,
background.
Pretty good. Get 2 dice to hand out.
All right. Connor, you're going first. Might as well take an extra dice.
Gotcha. Another one that we're under a target number with. Fucking one.
All
How many
right.
dice do we need? 3
3.
successes.
Mhm.
Oh, well, I can't really justify using stealth to sneak up behind one, I imagine. So,
I think you can for. Hang on. I think you can use.
I mean, why wouldn't you be able to use stealth? They're
don't know.
on that side.
sneak.
Yeah,
I was just saying, like, he would sneak up behind one and basically smash it. You know.
I could push this one, see if I get more.
If you want some
That's
stress.
your decision.
I mean, are we concerned?
Yeah. So avoiding. I'll tell you what type of attacks you can use on the different size swarms.
Oh, and I didn't use the bonus dice that Danny gave me, so they're free still.
You can use anything. You can use endure, force, mobility, range combat, or stealth.
Oh, I guess he'll sneak around. He'll like squat down real low and maybe use the prep stations and stuff as cover and kind of carefully sneak behind one and, or the group or whatever, and basically try and take him out that way.
Don't forget Danny's bonus dice. I didn't use them.
How many do I get?
You can have up to 2.
Oh, I guess I'll take 2 if no one else wants them.
See if you can. That way I don't have to go.
Yeah, I totally forgot to add them in. I added in my +2.
Hey, there we go. Well, that's a stealth.
What does it look like as you guys take all these guys out?
Silently, yes.
Huh. Much to tie in the intro, much like the beginning where he was stealthily sneaking around that village, dispatching people that deserve to die. He kind of quietly works his way behind there and pops up behind a couple of them before they even know what's going on. You know, their head smashed in or their brain stem is, you know, severed or what have you, and that's that.
Yeah. Good display of dominance for these new members of the pack.
Yeah, Connor starts wiping off his knife onto his vest. I told you it's easy.
Yeah, Carter and Maurice, and it's like, shit.
I told you
boys
they
don't
were
play.
handy.
Yeah, Ben kind of wipes it off on the one that has the partially eaten face, wipes it off in his clothes, or the zombie's clothes, and puts it back in his sheath and goes, yeah, probably smart to save ammo if we can.
Save on ammo and noise.
I don't like you boys having to get so close, but yeah, worked out. Alright, let's spread out, look for cans. Look for a can opener now that I mention it.
Yeah, we got a knife if we can't find one, but yeah.
I'm sure there are some jumbo cans in the supplies.
Yeah. Let's look through.
Yeah, Connor will see this knife back up and start moving, rummaging through some of these pots and pans and.
So this hotel. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. That was stupid. Go ahead.
It's not stupid.
It's coming from Jake.
Yeah, he was going to talk about
that about yourself.
Yeah, he's going to talk about L plus R equals J with Ben, so he doesn't need to do that.
This haven has just in static supplies without fishing and scavenging around the countryside and that sort of thing. It has for as many people as you're harboring, it has 7 days of food.
Okay.
Now that's if you do everything perfectly and find everything and everything's not spoiled, etc.
Mm-hmm.
What I want you guys to do is you get 3 days automatically, and there's 4 of you. So each of you give me scout rolls, and we'll do a chain as well. So whoever goes first, if you get more than 1 success, you guys can keep passing along the dice.
I'll go
That makes
first
sense?
since I have 5 wits and 1 scout, so might be good for me to go first, unless somebody else has more than 6.
I do.
You do? You go then.
I might roll like crap though.
I'd have 6 if we were including binoculars, but that sounds dumb to include in this, so no. I'm looking very close.
I've got a compass.
Yeah, use the compass to food.
Yep, that's 1 success. So you got 4 days worth so far.
Yeah, nothing to pass along though.
Okay. Alright, here we go. Oh my god.
Alright, I'll go next.
Push.
I got
Push.
I am gonna push.
There we go.
All right, you got 5 days
I'm
worth.
stressed out looking for food.
Food.
Looking for
6
booze, finding only food.
6 days
First
worth.
gotta
Yeah.
pick
So what's the
That's
story
why he's
behind that?
stressed, because he's
Correct.
looking for booze.
Yeah.
Jake?
Yeah, he wonders if there's like cooking sherry or something like that, and he just kind of like
Maybe Carter and Maurice have been partying, and that's what you guys heard when that first day when you came in. They have all the liquor they drank. All.
yeah.
So you guys have the whole 7 days, right? Yeah. So however long this whole thing would take, I would say probably by mid-morning. You guys are mid-morning after lunchtime. You guys have surveyed the area. You got your supplies. You've scavenged what you can of the hotel, and you know that from the day one, from the 12th when you came in, you got 7 days worth of food of rations. If you guys would get like the way the system works, each NPC has to have 1 ration per day, and if they don't, they start to get accrue penalties. But at a haven level, it's based on like how many people are staying there. So you just have 7 days of static supplies. Yeah, that makes sense.
Gotcha.
As they're kind of scavenging and maybe cleaning up a little, he looks to, what is it, Maurice, and what was the other one? Carter. He's like, I appreciate you guys helping out, but there is an ugly duty that is needed. We need to drag these bodies out, dump them out before they start sneaking. And no offense, but I'm the better shot than you two, so you mind grabbing some shoulders and legs and hauling them out?
Yeah, they have no problem with doing that. They want to make themselves useful, so they'll follow orders and so forth. But what's her name is still here too?
Olivia.
Olivia's kind of is. I gotta change their fucking token. Get that guy out of there.
Put Jake in there with her. She has no choice. I'm in the token.
O and J equals.
I want to change. I'm gonna change theirs real quick.
So, Bo, am I correct? In this kitchen, there's a lot of stuff laying around. Is there a bunch of pots and pans we could put on the roof for some rainwater collection?
Yeah, absolutely. I think
Knives.
so.
There's got to be tons of knives in here. Yeah.
That sounds like a project.
Jake's gonna have a paring knife to attack them with.
I'm going to start, once we get the bodies out, I'm going to start dragging pots and pans, big rattly stuff, and putting it in front of doors and windows. We'd probably hear if something broke through the window, but if someone just pushed open doors or something, I just want it to be loud if we get invaded.
Yeah.
Booby traps.
That's what I said. Booty traps.
Trapping the boobs.
Take a 5-minute break here, because I'm not going to relax until I change this token.
Both stroking out. The dead face of Ethan staring at him.
Yeah, we'll have
funny.
to.
I also really have to pee because I've been chugging water all day.
Yeah, I guess we can get to the roof and put the pots and pans out. Maybe do a little scout and see if check out the surrounding
Yeah.
area.
See if there are any generators or anything.
Well, we know there's generators at the old lady's home. That was like episode 1 or so that they had mentioned there was generators up at Stormy Point.
Right. There ain't much we can do with them.
No, I mean, we have my truck, but there's also a massive swarm there. So we'd have to wait till they moved on or figure something out.
Yeah, but for that complex, probably one of those big old commercial
That's
generators.
what I was going
right?
to say.
Yeah.
What kind of generators? Are we talking like the ones that'll power one home or the big units that'll put out fucking huge base load?
And it was a complex, right?
Yeah,
So,
Stormy
yeah.
Points.
So that'd be a big one that we wouldn't even be able to move. But we'd clear out a bunch of old people.
Yeah, we'd have to find like a flatbed, basically. That would be like a huge project, mechanically speaking, game-wise.
Yeah. And something to hoist it with, too.
We just got to find the generator for here and get that hot water going.
Yeah, I'm sure Connor's smelling pretty great with all that gore still on his clothes.
We're eventually going to have to come up with something for water.
That's what all the pots and pans for up on the
Well,
roof.
it depends if there's any wells for these hotels or cabins or anything like that. If you got wells, then you should have some pretty good access.
Is there wells down there? I've never been to the Ozark area.
Well, there's wells on people's individual properties.
Gotcha.
Like hotels and stuff are probably connected to the city water supply, but your more remote homes and stuff probably have, the wells and then your leach fields for the sewer and stuff.
Right, spray fields and everything. Well, I mean, we could do I don't know, because we're still quite a distance away from the lake. I mean, we got the lake, so we could always fill the pots and
Boil
pans with
water.
water. Yeah, and then boil it.
I'm assuming our 7 days of rations include juice
Water.
boxes and stuff that we find. Yeah,
Warm
the
pop.
cases of bottled water and whatnot.
Some natty light.
Mellow yellow.
Wait, what's it called now? Starry? Or is that something else?
No, that's Sierra Mist.
Okay.
Yeah, they lost the naming rights to a girl named Sierra Mist.
That's
Seriously?
hilarious.
Yeah, they tried suing her, cease and desist, and when they were trying to defend her, the lawyer found out that the trademark for it expired, so they bought it.
Oh, I didn't know that. I was like, where did this Starry drink suddenly come from? I didn't know that's what it
I
was.
honestly thought it was just like a stupid rebrand. It wasn't anything other than that.
At least that's what I heard. I read. There was some TikTok influencer who her name is Sierra Mist, but spelled different, and she has a spicy page. So Pepsi was all over it to get her to stop, and lost out big. But then I don't know if they had to do the different flavor, either just because they wanted to say it because it was a rebrand, or with that trademark came the recipe, you know?
Trademarks are just names or
Alright.
logos. That's all that is. There could be a patent on their recipe. But
Gotcha. So they probably changed it to hide the fact they had to rebrand it. Because it kind of came out of nowhere.
They got to
It
find
did.
a way to make them. I honestly, based on the commercials, I thought they were kind of like rebranding it, more for,
Because it sucked.
yeah.
And it still sucks. It's like
Sierra Mist is a Pepsi product, right?
yeah, it's their knockoff version of 7-Up
Or Sprite.
and Sprite. Yeah, it's like a mix of both because it's more 7-Up in flavor.
I don't like Pepsi products for the most part.
I'm back.
I don't know,
I like
mean,
wild cherry Pepsi, but Diet Pepsi is like the worst diet drink in the universe.
Yeah, followed quickly by Diet Coke.
Ice cold Pepsi is good.
Mm,
Otherwise, oddly addicted to Sunkissed if I haven't.
Sunkist is a jam.
And 7-Up.
Nah, not so much 7-Up for me. I had my fill as a kid. That's all my grandmother had in her
Just didn't
fridge.
drink enough 7 and 7s in your
Yeah.
adolescence and early 20s.
Well, that's the reason I can't have vodka and orange juice, so I'd probably still be in the same boat.
Screwdrivers are disgusting.
Oh, they're delicious. What are you talking about?
Nah, when you puked them up millions of times.
Vodka and orange juice, it's healthy and good
It's
for you.
healthy.
Healthy. Sugar and alcohol. Worst possible combination.
I'll stick with my
Vitamin
Jameson's
C.
and pickle juice.
That's like 3 times the liver damage drinking of the sugar. All right, so what are we doing, kids? So it's around lunchtime, and you guys have counted your supplies.
We should.
Did I hear a couple ideas for projects?
Yeah. Rain collectors on the roof, pots and pans on doors for noise, and
We're going to try and find the generator for this hotel.
that too. I mean, we could put the group to work putting pots and pans on the roof and
Yeah.
stuff while we do the generator searching, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like we have them start cleaning and organizing, keep them busy.
Ship don't run itself.
So I'm gonna call the project Ghetto Alarm System. What effect do we want that to have? I don't think I don't think I'm going to make that effect either capacity or. But I think what I would do is gives bonuses.
Prevents ambush or hurts the other person's stealth roll, maybe, or if there's some sort of stealth involved.
Bumps up
Yeah,
our scouts if you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like it. That sounds good. That sounds good. So any scout checks made in and around the haven get a +2.
And while some of the group is getting the rain collectors, and other people are hauling the dead outside, setting up the ghetto alarm system, Ben would probably look for someone to help him find like the master key to all the rooms in the hotel, and just basically start going room to room. He's going to see how many were in use, how many have like clothes left behind. Probably knock on the door first and wait to see if anything starts clawing on the door.
And we still gotta search the second floor as well.
I feel like just the rain collection. I feel like just the rain collection is not going to increase your capacity in and of itself.
Well, it's very limited, right? But those
Yeah,
spots, some of those pots and pans goes get to the rainwater, lake water, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we gotta do it's like a mini expedition for that.
And you'd have to set up.
I'd say what it will do maybe if it rains.
It's our passive
if it
income.
Yeah.
Yeah. For now, you don't have to go anywhere to get anything. Okay, don't have to leave Haven for water. You've been here for a day. I would say you probably have some bottled water and stuff in there too.
Yeah.
Because that's like not going to go bad. It's going to still be there. So you got at least 7 days of stuff.
So now it says limit food 1 week, start on the 12th. So does that mean we got 14 days worth now?
No, you have a week's worth.
Okay.
I knew that was going to be the capacity when I set it up. I want to see what the weather is today. Weather.
We may want to start rotating people on the roof as a watch for the
Rain.
keeping track of the walkers and baddies.
Yeah, the horde movements.
Ben will volunteer since he has binoculars. He'll take out like his poncho and offer to go up there and just kind of look to where the psychopaths were, the war pigs, since he doesn't know what that name is, but we all do. And then maybe look to the north to Stormy Shores to see if you can see through the trees the swarm that's there, and just kind of get a lay of the land, get beyond Branson Shores and Celebration Cove.
Yeah, Jake would go up and see if he can find that generator, because he would probably be helpful with that.
Do they keep generators on the roof? Is that where they are usually?
That's generally where they are, yeah.
It depends how big it is. Not like all the ones I've dealt with, they were always on the ground.
Yeah,
Too
if they're
heavy.
super big, you'll have them on a concrete pad on the side of the building.
Well,
So what do you think? What would you think for like a place like this?
Well, given a year or two, there's no because most codes for them to be outside weren't around yet, so they could be indoors with an exhaust.
Maybe just roll.
I've seen a lot of hotels with HVAC and stuff on top of the roof. That's why
almost always the air conditioners are on the roof.
Yeah, all commercial units.
And that kind of keeps all the noise in one place, so I didn't know if
That's
that
what I
was
thought
my
the generator
reasoning.
would be like at the side or something like
It'd
that.
probably be on the side, honestly, and it probably wouldn't be enclosed.
Yeah,
Most
just from the
likely.
roof, I could be looking down and looking for.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay.
If you
So,
want
yeah,
a
let's-
comparison, City Hall in my town would be about the size of this hotel, maybe smaller, and their generator is outside to the side of it, not enclosed.
So how about this? For the rest of the day, we do these little projects, okay? And we'll get a little scene where you guys, as soon as you set up the water collection system, I rolled that it rains, so it starts to rain. And so that's going to make your NPCs less afraid, so I'll change their mood. And then we're going to do some scout rolls from the top, and I'll let Ben get the lay of the land. You'll get a +2 with your scout roll. And then Jake, you instead of doing a scout for you, you'll do like tech or whatever, and that will let you at least come up with a plan for getting to the generators and fixing them and that sort of thing. That all sound reasonable?
Mm-hmm.
Danny and Connor, I don't know if I'd make you guys roll for the ghetto alarm system and
That's
setting up
pretty
the rain
basic.
collection and stuff. Yeah, it's pretty basic. So All right, so let's do the scout first. Give me a scout there.
All right, and +2 with the binoculars, you said.
Mm-hmm.
All righty. See if this works.
All right, which way do you want to look for this roll? Which sector do you want to look towards?
We're gonna look towards the war pigs. He saw what they did on the water. He knows that humans are probably far more dangerous than the swarm, and he wants to put his eyes towards them.
Yeah, it's not even that far. I did the scale on this slide. It's like 1,600 feet or something across the way. So you see that across the way, mostly trees, but because of your elevation on the top of that 4-story building, you see over a lot of the trees. And you can see towards this Bella Vista estate. You see what looks to be some sort of barricade that's been erected around the place. And you see like a small motor pool of cars and trucks parked outside along with choppers. For the time being, you don't see any smoke rising from the chimney. You don't see any flashes of gunfire or anything like that. But you see it's a well-fortified position. In character, since you work here, you would know that's the Bella Vista Estates.
Gotcha.
Anywhere with a question mark, you can look.
If I can look somewhere else, I will look to the north, above Swarm 5.
All right.
Do that.
So you see past the trees from your hotel, like if you would stand at ground level, it looks like there's hardly any walkers, but you can see like just past the tree line, a level 5 swarm, just hundreds of them. Then beyond that, you see what looks to be a thing of condominiums and a few trailers. And let's see what type of faction you see. There you go. Faction type. We're just gonna make this.
Is that the
Okay,
old people gang?
No. Okay, so you see what looks to be like in the northern part of that, like almost like what looks to be like a prepper compound. Like there's probably people that live there that had a house in those woods that have just been like waiting for this shit to happen. And you see people like outside, look to be like tending a garden of some sort behind a barricade, and they have like what looks to be gas masks or N95s on, with the like the respirators coming out to the sides. Let me see, faction size. $16 to 20 people. So maybe you see half of that. But so it's like more than just a couple people. And let's see here. Faction leadership. Okay. I'm not going to let you see the rest of these. I'm going to do them on my own. But that's what you see. That's pretty cool.
Nice.
Let me see here. I'll remove this. And I'll come up with a cool name for them, but for now, they will be called the Preppers.
look evil so that we don't feel bad killing them and taking their stuff?
I don't know.
Trade with them.
I want to make rolls and see. You want to look anywhere else?
I guess the only other place you could
Down south?
realistically look is south of the War Pigs.
All right. Nah, nothing. We'll just go with you see. What you see is Atlantis recording studio with an empty parking lot, and you see like the glint of spectacles off the setting sun, and you see there's like a little old black lady on top of the roof with a shotgun. And she sees the glint of your binoculars, and you make eye contact with her through the binoculars.
Yeah, he sees that he's not the only one scouting about, and he kind of gives like a half-hearted wave to her. Maybe tips, does a little fake tip of the hat to her.
She waves back, like with a shotgun, like in the air, back and forth.
And he would know, probably being in that area for a year, that that's the recording studio, because didn't Maurice and Carter talk about how they were recording there, or am I imagining that?
Oh, that's what they said, yeah.
That's what I thought.
That's Grover, and that's the disabled guy, and the blind, the two dead guys' mom.
Oh, that's right.
Grover
Cleveland. That's right. Yeah, he just
you remember as you're waving to her that Maurice says that lady's been asking about if they've seen her boys.
Yep. He's going to kind of make a mental note to maybe grab that CB at some point and ask the two guys what frequency they were talking to her on.
Sweet. Cool scene. And Jake.
Does Jake find where it is?
Give me tech.
Oh, okay, just sure.
I was bundle it all into one.
Oh my gosh. Yep. You
at first look at the wiring and you think it's like, shit, man, like, I'll let you role play, but basically at first you think it's on the roof. Go up there, it's not down there, you get pissed off. So you kind of think it's probably down around the side, and like there's no walkers around. And give me the scene of how you like go outside, just maybe make a dumb decision, just to go check real quick.
And there are walkers down there?
Well, there's just one. You know how they are. You know how they are.
Yeah. So
come out behind the tree.
So he finds like a big conduit, and he's like, well, he doesn't actually tell anybody either. He looks around. He doesn't see anything. He climbs down, goes outside, kind of sneaks out there. He's gonna take a quick look. And he heads over to the generator, and he's kind of opens a panel, and he's like looking at there, trying to figure it out, and he just hears something behind him, and he spins around, and there's a walker right behind him.
Does he scream like a little girl?
A sickly young little girl.
Yeah. And, the first thing he does is just kind of leap out of the way and try to run back inside. What should I do, Bo?
You can roll whatever skill you want.
Okay, mobility.
It's a eccentric spindler. It's one of these like old ladies with diabetic feet that always have their legs wrapped, coming after you. Oh no! It grabbed you.
Oh yeah, I messed up.
You have to. And yeah, you're gonna get another one, and you have to roll in the walker attack table.
What should I do?
Jake's first.
Jake's the first.
On the walker
Roll,
attack table.
roll walker attack. Yeah.
Okay.
Or,
Let me find it. I don't see anything like that. Is that core set?
yeah, you can get it right.
Okay. Walker Tech. There he is. Okay.
And I drug that to my hot bar at the bottom too.
Oh, looks like it might have. No.
Take 1 stress point, and you also mess that one up.
1 more stress. Okay.
So you start to vomit as it's like drooling on you. You kind of roll away from the generator. You're on top. It's on top. You're on top. It's on top. And it goes again, going right for your jugular to rip your throat out. How do you try to evade this time? You still do mobility again.
Yeah, he's just trying to scramble away and run mostly.
You do. How do you get away?
Yeah, so the thing's on top of him, and he just kicks off with his feet, and the thing like trips over one of the dead walkers that we had taken outside maybe or something, and it falls over backwards, and Jake doesn't like wait, he just immediately books it back inside, closes the door behind him, and runs back up to the 3rd floor.
Does it look like everybody's like hanging there, and like he just arrives? You know where they're at. You know where the generators are at now. You can see that like some of the conduit's missing, and there's a mechanical problem with it. But you need to get a closer look to figure out exactly how to fix it.
Yeah, Jake bursts into the room. He looks around and he's sweating profusely. And probably, if it's raining, he's like drenched from being out there. He kind of like looks around and he's like, "I need a drink."
What happened?
What?
Is that vomit?
No. He looks for Olivia and tries to act tough. No. I ran into one of those things. I was going to look in the generators. Don't worry, I didn't get bit or scratched or anything.
You actually succeeded on your tech, even though you messed up, so you know exactly how to fix it. You just need the parts.
I just need some parts, and I can fix it. I can fix it.
Okay, but don't go outside by yourself.
I just thought it would. Yeah. You're right.
Connor's gonna go up to him and kind of grab him. Let's check you for bites there, bud.
Sure, but I don't have any. But yeah, okay.
He kind of gives him a little look over. He kind of comes back up. Man, you stink.
No, I'm fine.
Alright, I don't see any bites.
I didn't get bit. That's what I'm saying, man.
Did you have him take off his pants and check?
I don't think anybody really wants to see that one. The rumor has
Well, there
he
might
doesn't
be
have
some
something down there.
There might be some people that want to.
Does anyone want to see Jake take his pants off?
I mean, haven't these people suffered enough already?
Well, it is the apocalypse.
Well, okay. So, what kind of parts do you need? And I assume that he just kind of describes
yeah,
it.
he describes it, and I don't know what is it, Bo. So
I don't know. Most importantly is where on the map you can find it.
Yeah.
I need the hydro spanner.
Flux capacitor.
Right.
This place has a utility shed, like a big shed where they keep some tractors and like the lawn equipment stuff and supplies. Basically, analogous to Paul McCall's shed that he keeps poorly stocked, but this one is well stocked, and it's right to the side, unfortunately, towards the edge of the swarm, level 5 swarm.
Yeah. He said, "Well, there's a shed. probably with the parts I need, that would probably work. But he kind of points out the window. It's over there.
Okay. How much more time do we have in the day?
It's about sunset.
We should probably do it in the day at the very least.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we can all grab one more night of full bellies to some degree and no immediate danger.
Does anybody have a drink?
And Connor will pull out his flask. I don't know how much left is in here.
He
You
just
might-
takes it and downs it.
Carter and Maurice honestly might have some. I have a feeling that that's one of the things they grabbed first.
He'll try to find him and see if they want to
Party.
some.
Yeah.
Party
He's got
with
half a bottle of Hennessy.
Yeah, I'll drink it. Doesn't matter.
That's what they got. They got half a bottle of Hennessy. And Olivia saw that, and she's actually a little amazed at you. You said you wanted to work towards her being your anchor, right?
I think that's what I said.
So she kind of goes up to you and sits down next to you and gives you a nudge with her elbow. Say, that Hennessy?
Yeah, I've never had it before.
Nor I. First time for everything. Sharing a poison with an addict.
I'm not an addict. I just...
Listen,
I'm on a
just shut the
bender.
fuck
I'm
up,
on a
Jake.
bender.
Hey, I was going to give you a goddamn compliment if you shut your yapper. I saw what you did outside. You didn't have to do that. If you were a complete deadbeat, you wouldn't have done that. I apologize.
I'm not a deadbeat. Have you ever seen Leaving Las Vegas?
Yeah. Ethan was into those sorts of movies. He was artsy like that. It was great, though. Nick Cage, right?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm the real life, not Nick Cage, but that guy. Not anymore, though, I guess.
What was it, Elizabeth Shue?
Yeah. She was a prostitute.
Well, I ain't no Elizabeth Shue. Yet, unless that asshole has something to do with it. Fuck them. Give me more of that Hennessy.
What happened with those guys anyway?
There's a kind of a flashback, talking cinematically, and she goes over everything that happened. Ethan and I, like I said, we did well for ourselves, and so when things started to turn the wrong way up in Springfield, we came south, rented the Bella Vista Estates, figured we'd go out on a pontoon and kind of outlast this thing by the lake. Unfortunately, those bastards had other plans. Rolled up on a bunch of Harleys one day, shot Ethan's brother, had their way with his sister and his two nephews. Well, it wasn't pretty. I think it broke him. We had no choice but to leave. We ran away. Got out on that pontoon, and you know the rest of the story.
Well, I'm sorry that happened. We're not gonna let them get us. I don't think. We got Ben and Connor. Connor's a FBI agent, and Ben obviously knows what he's doing. I mean, he's got a machine gun or something.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. I was going to ask about the blonde too. What's her name? Danny?
Yeah, she's
Who voted her leader? You just follow her around like a puppy dog. I mean,
I don't think anybody voted her a leader necessarily. She's pretty handy. Some girl got shot, and she was able to save her life. I mean, that's kind of important.
yeah, just don't let it go to her head. I've been around too many leaders in my life that, well, once they get a taste of power, they can get a little intoxicated with it, if you know what I mean. Not that she strikes at me as the type, but
Yeah, I don't think so. She seems pretty.
if I question her judgment, just don't call me a bitch. I'm looking out for all of us.
No, I would never do that.
You never call me a bitch, are you sure?
Yeah, probably not.
Takes a big sip of the Hennessy. What about hoe then?
Ho? Oh, I don't use that. I don't. I mean, if you're talking about like a sex worker, I don't judge.
She stands up, walks across the room to talk to some of the NPCs, and says, "And this is why you fail." Good talking to you, Jake.
He's like, what? He just drinks some more Hennessy.
Let's see. I'll move her up on the attitude scale if we're talking Star Wars Saga Edition and RPG. She goes up on the attitude scale on a BioWare RPG.
Yeah.
Leader mood. So I'm going to make a little note about that. Anything else that needs to happen here?
Not for me.
All right, we'll go to Dawn on the 14th. And you guys want to end it there, or anything else you want to do?
I think we can just kind of end with a montage of what we're all doing.
Yeah.
Like maybe the next morning
Yeah.
as the sun rises. Okay, yeah.
The sun rises. Danny stands over a hotel bathroom sink with a bottle of water, swishes around some in her mouth, says fuck it, and then pours some into her hand and rubs it over her face and arms and underarms, trying to get a little bit clean. She hears people starting to wake up, already worried, she started thinking, gotta do this today, gotta do this today, gotta do this today. And then she hears, in the next room, the family with the Madison and the son, and she can hear the boy, giggling and laughing, and she can't make out what the girl is saying or what he's saying, but, it's just this small moment of normality, and it makes her stop, and, she just kind of drinks it in. It's something she didn't realize she'd been thirsting for so badly.
Excellent.
That's it for me.
Jake, you want to go next because
Yep.
that social interaction with Olivia plus the night's sleep should wipe out your stress.
Okay, good. Yeah, he wakes up and he thinks about the walker. What happened? It's different for him than when they were running away from the clubhouse. Just that was kind of mass confusion, and he wasn't surprised it happened. Being surprised by the walker was a whole different thing, and he kind of thinks to himself, oh, I survived, I did it, and kind of gives, bolsters his confidence a little bit, and he had enough to drink last night where he doesn't have the complete shakes, so he feels okay, pretty good actually, and he cracks open his book and he starts reading Game of Thrones, and he just thinks in his head how shitty it was that Ned died, and he thinks about talking about to Ben about about some things that he read on a message board. That's it.
Connor?
Yeah, Connor, as the morning approaches, he wakes up early he kind of feels antsy, knowing that there's a swarm on one side and a bunch of deviants on the other, and goes around as everybody's sleeping or just waking up and checking on, make sure all the pots and pans are good, and so they get at least a few minutes head start if someone tries busting in unannounced. Then once he finishes that up, he'll walk over to a window and just kind of stare at it. Seems so calm out there for the moment where he's looking.
Last but not least, exiting the session, how we started it with Ben Morton.
Ben, despite having his poncho on, was fairly soaked from pulling scout duty, but he learned a lot of valuable information that he could share with the group. He had gone back to his room, kind of stripped down, hung his clothes up in the bathroom along the shower rod to dry out, and he slept through the night. And he kind of woke up with dawn, feeling a bit rested after a night of good sleep in a king-size bed. And he's sitting there going through his weapons, cleaning them out on the table, cleaning them up, knowing that it's going to get harder to use these as ammo starts to run low. And as he's doing his morning routine with weapon maintenance, he hears a knock on the door, and at first he thinks it's the door to the hallway, and then he realizes it's the door to the adjoining room. He kind of sets everything down, and he goes over and opens it up. It's Liz and Kat, and they both kind of look up and they're like, "We're hungry." And he kind of goes over to his bag, and instead of pulling out the Honey Nut Cheerios, he pulls out a box of Lucky Charms. And he goes, "I knew you were after me, Lucky Charms," and kind of gets out some of the paper bowls and pours 2 little bowls for him, and has the one-time use, plastic spoons, and goes and sits in their room with them, and just tries to have kind of some normal talk with them and ask if they like their room, and if they wanted to go through and see if they could find some more clothes for them to wear, and just trying to keep their minds off of what had happened to them over these last few days. And kind of the scene ends with them, maybe him telling some dad jokes. He's like, I was told that oysters don't like giving up their shells to other people, and it's mostly because they're shellfish. And waits for them to groan, and just goes on with bad dad jokes, and that's how it ends.
Nice. All right. I think we'll end it for the night.